So you want to learn how to use Vokko. Vokko comes as an VST plugin. It is 32-bit. It comes as an effect and also as an instrument. In FL Studio, we need to load it up as an effect. And I just loaded up here, where my voice is now connected to. So, first of all, we send audio to it, and you can see the LED here shining yellow. And next thing to do is to load up a MIDI out. Let's add a MIDI out. And we can assign whatever port you want there. In this case, I'm going to assign port number 2, channel number 1. You can also load the default preset on the MIDI. Actually is the basic preset. Has modulation and other controllers. And then we select port number 2. So that's done. And we can tell this is Vokko 2 if we want. Now this is using port 2, and we need to set the plugin to accept port 2 as MIDI input, which I just did. And now I can try if I'm getting MIDI. I know I'm getting audio because the LED is lighting. And if I hit MIDI now without saying anything, now we can hear the notes, so we are sure that we are getting MIDI into Vokko. Now I'm gonna explain the different sections quickly. Input section, self-explanatory. You can set this button as I said. This you set off if you want to use the samples. Here you can just load up an arbitrary sample on each slot, adjust the pitch and adjust the gain. And you can use this one as the modulator, this as the carrier, or vice versa. And you can also monitor them to know who's who. For example, monitor 1, monitor 2. 1 is the modulator, 2 is the carrier, 2 is the modulator, 1 is the carrier, and off. Here we have a synthesizer. This is your main engine to use as the carrier. So in order to listen to it without having to vocode anything, as I said, we put it in monitor mode. And then I'm gonna show you the different synthesizers. I'm gonna just adjust the gain down. And then now you're gonna hear only this one. Which is quite rich pad with interesting stereo effects. Something is going on the left and something is going on the right. There is a lot of frequency content, good as a carrier, or a lot of content on the high region of the frequency. That helps with the human voice when you want to speak through a vocoder, and helps with the breathing side of it. Besides that, as I said, it's very rich in stereo. So that was the whole idea about Vokko, which was to use 2 vocoders in parallel and process everything in stereo. The majority of vocoders that I know, or I knew when I designed this plugin, were all monaural, And the idea with this one was to make it to make a stereo version that sounded very, very rich compared to the standard vocoder, which already sound cool, but you could do much more in stereo. So this is the first one. You can load up a sound font if you want in that synthesizer or in that sound font player. The second one is a sound font oscillator. Basically, it's the same thing as this in terms of technical features, but this one is designed to use very small waveforms that act as a wavetable instead of long samples as this one uses on the pads. I designed some of them. Some of them were cherry picked out of a pool of samples that I had around. And this one is very special, RT Carrier. RT stands for Roger Troutman, who was the singer on Zap, famous disco kind of band. This is funk, disco funk, with heavy use of vocoder and very cool effect with vocoders. The main lead voice was a vocoder. Well, anyway, for those who know, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So this one sounds like that. Let's just try to send MIDI to it again. All right. It's a very harsh carrier, but carriers tend to be better if they have more frequency content, and this one seems to have like a very carefully chosen set of frequencies on the high range, on the middle, and some on the low range, but not too many. And it seems like they are all sawtooth waves. It's like some sort of manufactured super saw wave. And the person who gave me this sample said to me that this was the original carrier used in the synthesizer that Roger Troutman was using in Zap. Whether that is true or not, I cannot prove it, but certainly if I vocode my voice against that, you get something really, really close to what Roger Troutman did. Let me give you just a small example. Bounce to the bounce, to the bounce, to the bounce, to the bounce, 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 what about one bounce? Bounce with it, bounce, bounce, no. If you sing like if you had the tube as if you were using talk box, you can use a finger like this and you do like bounce to the bounce and it sounds different. Now if you do the same and vocode, it sounds like this. Bounce to the bounce. I love you, not a little bounce to the bounce. So it sounds really similar. You can totally imitate that sound of the original talkbox without the hassle of a real talkbox. I guess with a talkbox you have the option of using a guitar too if you know how to play guitars, which is also very cool. But talkbox is anyway not in stereo like we have here. All right, so first sample sound font player, you have a pad. Second, then you have all these carrier sounds, including the RT carrier. Third is a normal synthesizer that I just put together that have a series of features that also complement very well with this one. Here you have your normal waveform selector. And normally I have it in pulse because I want to add just a tiny bit of... This is the synthesizer alone, no breath or anything. Let me see. So like a very normal synthesizer. We have a little bit of a knob, and we can add a little bit of breath. Normally I set the pulse very, very thin. To have like an extra note and a tiny bit of breathing or breath or noise or whatever you want to call it. This helps with breathing noises or breath noises. Then we have gain knob, attack, release, portamento time. If I do this, well, it does your standard portamento, and if it's in mono mode, you have your glissando between notes. So it works also polyphonically. This retriggers the envelopes every time you play like the attack, instead of linking them as a legato. This is your band range for when you use the pitch wheel. Your pitch tracking, which works as follows. Let's just go and put it so I hear my voice. And so it follows your pitch, and you can set the octave, and you can basically play one note in the keyboard, and while you're vocoding, it goes like that. So that helps you just sing whatever you want without having to play notes. And that's that for the pitch tracking. You can make like a bass, vocoder bass, so you have to sing only the notes like dum 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 dum, and then you have the vocoder following you, and you can just make a preset that sounds like a bass. So next we have the LFO, and we can just create vibrato with it. Basically, that's the whole intention of it. So if I play a note, you have a vibrato after. You can send that to breathe, and acts more like a tremolo. Panning filter. Next we have two filters in parallel, and they are independent too. It's not that they are both linked through the same controllers. If you don't want that, you can have them independent, so you can put more resonance to one side, or more or less gain, or more or pan things differently. But if you want to link them as a one filter with one set of controllers only, then you enable these buttons here and control only that side. So these two are linked now, and let's try. I think I have to vocode in order to do that. So gain is changing. Gain is changing. Resonance. Let's send that to the filter. Sending LFO to the filter cutoff. Sending LFO to the filter cutoff. So you can make cool effects with that. So notice that when we are in monitor mode, none of this. Only pitch is present, but the filters are not. That's with this section. There's nothing really special to mention. It's really self-explanatory. Next, we have a bit crusher, which affects also the sound only when vocoded. So if you want a little bit of extra speak and spell effect, speak and spell, you can add a little bit of beat crush to make it really harsh. Make it really harsh, make it more old school computer 8-bit kind of thing. You can still play chords and do whatever you want with the keyboard. Okay, so I think you get the idea, right? Here you can click and see who did the plugin. Here you can turn the logo if you like the dark side or the bright side. You can choose according to your mood. And here you have some MIDI learn that I put there just in case your sequencer doesn't support MIDI learn. In FL Studio, you just click on something, you just click on the controller, and then you can just create the automation clip or whatever. Even control it directly from a piece of hardware and then have it just moving for you. Here. There you go. Some sequencers, they require Vokko to be loaded as an instrument. In FL Studio, you have to load it as an effect. There you go. You can comment in the video if you want, if you need any other guidance about the plugin. One last thing I would just say is I spent a great deal of time producing this plugin, so I put it at a fair price. So please, people, if you found this plugin, sorry, I'm just clicking buttons like crazy as I speak. If you find this plugin in a pirate website or something like that, consider going to kvr.com, kvraudio.com, and going to Clang Labs and like here, go there and just buy it, all right? Because this is a cool plugin and there's nothing like this, and I spent a great deal of time doing it. This is the second version, and it's proven working really well for more than 10 years. Sorry, I cannot stop tweaking knobs as I speak. So there you go. Enjoy it. I hope this was helpful for you, and just have fun experimenting with it.